What's up, family? Welcome back to What the Fizz Nuck, where we talk about all kinds of things. Normally we disagree. Sometimes we argue and actually fuss and fight, but it's always
Like
gonna be love
I like the fighting part, y'all.
because he thinks he's right
I'm Mr. Critical. I'm always right.
in his small little world. But anyway, shoot, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Dr. T. How you feeling?
I worked out this morning and my knees didn't ache when I did my squats. So I'm fabulous. I'm
That's
fabulous today.
good. That's good. You ain't getting as old as you thought you was. That's good. That's good. What we talking about today?
I follow not the news, but you usually catch me up on the news, but I follow different people on, social media. I find myself getting a little anxious about what's going on in the in the world, specifically in the US. And I feel like something's coming. Something's coming, babe.
What you mean, like war to the United States, Civil War, coup, what, uprising? What you mean something coming?
I mean, it don't feel like impending war on this turf to you?
What I think is that a civil war is a little bit extreme, kind of like all the way over to the left. I don't ever see that happening. I think that there are too many weapons in the United States, and I think that people will not go for no government taking over, taking rights. I mean, if you're going to take rights, you're going to take rights. Apparently, how they doing it now, slowly but surely. But as far as taking away rights and making it a dictatorship, making it a social economy, I mean, social government, or even a dictatorship government, no, I don't ever see that happening here in the United States.
Well, I see it. I see it. There are a few things that continue to make my heart palpitate a little bit. And it's just little stuff, but it's little stuff piled on. I mean, like defunding these different offices of the government, these offices that have protected us in the vein of cutting back government spending. But those offices were put in place to protect the citizens, right?
Not
So,
necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say that. Everything that was always put in place to so-called protect the citizen has always been a trap, to me, from my opinion, to trap the citizen. For example, we were just talking about this the other day, Section 8. I think Section 8 has been a downfall for the Black community for a lot of years. I know the economy and I know the system that's in place hinders us from going out getting good paying jobs, possibly lack of skill set keep us from getting good paying jobs, the lack of education keep us from getting good set of jobs. So in place of making us lazy and dependent, give us some welfare, give us some social security, give us housing, and give it to us for free. And
well,
I think that's why we're in the situation that we're in now.
well, first of all, when you say black people, that statistically is incorrect. Black people are not the highest recipients of welfare. White women are. So
Okay.
that's not a black problem. Welfare is not a black problem. But when we say housing assistance, medical assistance, food assistance, when we say removing all that in the vein of cutting back government spending, then you're creating a huge gap in services for a ridiculous sized population that is going to lead to civil unrest.
Well, civil unrest has always existed in our community. Again, I think Section 8 is a real hindrance as far as when it comes for black people. Now, I know white people get the majority of all these social help systems that's been implemented, no doubt about it, because they are the majority in the United States. But then again, when it comes to the percentage side on the black people, there are a lot of black people that accept these assistants. And I think these assistants has hindered the desire because when you look at it, you get Section 8, you get food stamps. At one time, they was even giving out money and food stamps. So when you look at what Reagan done, Reagan eliminated the money part. Then came the Bushes. The Bushes reduced the food stamps. And then when you look at also, the Bush has also added in requirements in order to keep housing assistance. So when you look at all of these perks or these disadvantages that they implemented to try to motivate the black people that was getting, and I'm only concerned with the black people, you all. I know white people get the same benefits and okay, but I'm just looking at how it has hindered us as a culture because of all of these assistance. Now, do some of us need it? No doubt about it. Yes. Do some of us need the housing? No doubt about it. The food stamps? No doubt about it. The food pantries? No doubt about it. But
Well,
I think,
but I'm saying all of this in totality. I'm not going down the road of black people on welfare. I always go to their systems in place, and welfare is just a band-aid on a deeper social system and a deeper white supremacist system and a deeper patriarchal system and a deeper colonized system, all those things. So I'm
eh,
not going to get hung up on that. But what I'm saying is that the rollback of those social services is one aspect that makes me feel like civil unrest is percolating. Then these troops on American territory, to me, I'll just put it out there. It feels like small pieces are being put in place to invoke or provoke riots so that the Agent Orange can
justify.
smack us with mutual with what's the word?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue that. That's a good point. I just don't see, I always say this, the past always repeats itself. And when I look at these other countries like South Africa, North Africa, when you look at what happened in the Middle East, that's continued to happen. When you look at what happened down in the South America, when you look at what happened over in Germany during World War II, it was the signs that those countries all share together. I don't see those things happening over here in the United States.
Because you saw the extreme before it happened. You didn't see the incremental pieces that led to that extreme situation that caused revolutions and all that. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to have a vast poor class. Your middle class is now your working poor. If you're not making 200,000 in the US, you're not middle class anymore. So that just bumped everybody down. So you have a majority of poor class without services. You don't have, let's just go here. You got um the person in the Oval Office that basically owns the three branches of government that are supposed to be a checks and balances. So
Well,
it's the little things that in history, when we learn about wars, we didn't look 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead at the little things that happened. We just say, oh, there was a war because everybody was unhappy and they were starving. Well, what did it take to get them to starve?
I understand your point, and I can't argue that point. That's a good point you made. Let me just clarify this. Barack had all three as well. And what did he do? But anyway,
Totally different situation.
I just don't see. I agree. I see the implement of things that's being implemented, the small things that leads into big things. And it's a possibility that they are trying to evoke or provoke a war amongst the classes, which has always been a war amongst the middle class and the poor. It always been a separation or identifying that this class is bad. It's really a classism. What I see happening in the United States right now is mostly trying to make a class. Like you said, you got a middle class, you got a rich class, and a poor class. I think they
You're
are
right.
really trying to distinguish and make the middle class the poor class now. So you can only have two classes, wealthy and poor. But I don't see that leading into a civil war because it's just too many weapons here in the United States for that to ever take place.
You said that. You said that. But when we talk, all of the troops are coming to American soil. It ain't so we got guns. We ain't got that kind of ammunition. to hold it down for days upon weeks upon months. We might have guns, but where we getting the ammunition?
You know, they ran a simulation about this specifically thing you just mentioned about the soldiers coming back to the U.S. Training. They ran a simulation, and that simulation showed that the American soldiers some would fire up on them, but the majority of the American soldiers would resist that order, firing up on American citizens. You know,
Well, I would say great to that, but they didn't factor in the othering. So they didn't factor in that there has to be a narrative created that they're the others and those others will take from you. So now, when I feel threatened, I have no problem with taking care of business against another
what
person
is
on
take
this
care?
U.S.
What
soil.
is take care of business? What do you mean killing a nigga? You ain't got no
Ye-
problem with that.
I mean, if it's him or me, it's gonna be me. I'm choosing me. But I think Agent Orange does a great job at threatening people.
Hold on,
And
just for clarity, could you please tell us what Agent Orange is, please? Because you did
how did
use
I
it several times.
I heard what okay, Tronald Dump. That's who I'm talking about.
Insults will get no response out of me today.
Ronald Dump is he's real good at threatening people. So you threaten people, you other people, you make false claims and you get people emotionally. That's what propaganda is. You get people
Yeah.
emotionally off kilter and people start to do things that they wouldn't normally do. That simulation did not account for that.
Okay. Let's just roll with that. Okay. So what you think is that if they could provoke and say demonstration and bricks and bottles are being thrown, what you saying is the Army reservists will literally shoot them down. That's what you think will happen?
No, I think first martial law.
But no, we talking about protests. It's going to start with the protests. So you think martial law after the shooting? You think martial law could be implemented because after the shooting, possibly that could cause even a bigger uproar, right?
Right. So
Innocent
you
people are
but
killed
we're talking about you have citizens who are now
protesting.
they're protesting and it's no longer nonviolent. It becomes a violent protest.
Well, after they threw bricks and bottles, and then an officer shoots and starts shooting and kill a couple of them. You think that could be the spark for insurrection or ordering of martial law? That's an interesting situation there. Let me think about that. I just don't see that. I can see the army men possibly retaliating and killing a couple of people. But even then, I don't see martial law being implemented. Okay, let's just say that happens, and let's say it's 100,000 protesters out there. That's a very large crowd. And let's say they start throwing bricks and bottles, Molly cocktails, and officers or army men are being injured. Okay, in retaliation to stop it, yeah, I could see gunfire possibly being a choice. Okay, if that is a choice and gunfire is applied upon U.S. citizens, which the majority of those protesters aren't U.S. citizens. But
Most part.
if they are, and if two, three, four, five, a dozen of them get killed, could that incite a major movement? No, no. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I don't think that would happen. Because we are not organized enough to instantly retaliate. It would take pockets of retaliation against the
Okay.
army possibly,
But
but
again,
not all.
it doesn't have to be all at once for martial law to be declared. And I believe that if martial law is declared, that's what's going to infuriate U.S. citizens, black, white, brown, purple, green. That's going to infuriate U.S. citizens and it's going to pop off from there.
Well, what entitled for martial law to be implemented or ordered by the president, the Senate, Congress, or either by a governor or a mayor. What inquire for that to be ordered is if a natural emergency was to happen, if a natural disaster was to happen, or if like COVID was to happen again, if America was under siege by weapons or by missiles, those are the four things that I can see. I just can't see martial law being implemented because of rioting, protesting, or just playing out violence. Even when those riots was happening in California after Rodney King, martial law wasn't incorporated then.
Well, because that wasn't the plan then. There's a whole plan in place now, in my opinion. And y'all know we all opinion based here.
No doubt about it.
do
We
do
don't
your
need
own
we don't
research.
need we don't need no facts here, y'all. Just
This is just
opinion.
opinion. Maybe a little conspiracy sprinkled
Hold
in
on,
there.
family. Hold on, family. But Dr. T expect for me to be for factual with her though. But y'all ain't gotta be
Sometimes
factual. Y'all can be
you got to be
opinionated.
okay, because our opinions are based on something, and I'm just saying it need to be a fact somewhere to be found. But see, that was a different time. We have a different person in office now with different motives and different
No,
outcomes.
no, don't do that. You are just steady attacking my guy like that as if he got
Don't say that.
a
Don't say that
very,
out loud.
very
That is so
devilish intent. I don't think his
despicable.
intent is no more
He's the
different from
devil.
any other president. And not only that, these presidents in the United States, you all, is nothing more than a puppet. I'm gonna give you an example of that. Why I say that. Why would we be supporting? And this is off topic, but why would we be supporting Ukraine when Ukraine was accused of all types of stuff illegal? Not only that, Ukraine doesn't belong to the United Nations. Not only that, the United States banned the United Nations for even allowing him to be participating in the United Nations, or whatever that president name. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, Ukraine have no benefit to the United States.
That
Okay,
we know of, because
that we
I
know
know
of. Okay,
there's information out there that digs deeper into the root of why we are in this situation that
but I'm
the
just
average
but
American is not privy to.
that's true. We'll never be privy to all the information, but public information that I'm aware of, and I'm pretty sure some of our family out here is aware of, know that Ukraine has no political benefit to the United States, financially, economically, militarily, none. And yet, why would we be going over there to fight for them? My point is this: the president of the United States is nothing more than a puppet. Strings are being pulled that he cannot disobey. He have to follow. So understand, family, the presidents of this United States has never been the helm of the wheelhouse. Never. That's all I got to say.
We've all, understood that there is a puppet master, and the two-party government is the
Yeah.
in front of the
Just a clown
curtains.
show.
It's in front of the curtains
Just a
while the
clown
Wizard of
show.
Oz is behind the curtain. So, again, like you said, that's a different subject, different topic. But I don't know. When you say there's enough guns that would hold off the military, there's no way there's enough guns to hold off the
Well,
military.
well, you have to look at what country was this? Right outside of right outside of Iran. Oh, as a matter of fact, here go a good example. Let's go with the Egyptian war. The Egyptians was fighting against the government. Was it Egyptians? Yeah, it
You
had
got
yeah,
you
yeah, it was I'm pretty sure it was over in, maybe I'm wrong on this, don't hold me to this, but it was a country that was fighting. They did a coup. And in this coup, they was fighting against the president's, damn, it's on the tip of my tongue, that country. But anyway, they was fighting against the president's army. And they end up winning that war and ousting that president with the generals. So it is possible that pockets of civilians could overthrow an army, you know.
okay,
That's
but
wishful
but
thinking, but
okay. So that's my point, that you were saying that you don't think civil war can happen. I do
no.
believe civil war can happen.
Okay, well, family, what do you all think? You heard our opinions. It's not based in nothing but opinions and a little bit of facts and what we read and what we listen to. So share your comments, share your thoughts, share your opinions. And again, it, we don't take none of this shit personal, you all.
We don't. Hold on, baby, but we've been sporting some gear on all of our videos, and I don't know if the family has recognized yet, but all this stuff we're talking about makes you say, "What
What the
the fizz?"
fizz? No.
So
I
we
prefer to
decided
say
to
what the
go.
fuck, y'all. Yeah. I prefer to say what the fuck, but baby tell me don't say it. She say this.
So, we just that's where we are right now. We're in the stage of what the fizz duck. So if
Yeah.
you want to get your shirts, hold on tight. We'll have them available for you shortly. You got shirts, hats, mugs,
Hoodies.
hoodies. Yep, coming your way. Stay tuned. Cause we gonna represent out here and let the people know we walking around saying what the fizz nut.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you all for following. Please subscribe, comment, and like our videos. Have a good day.